let's try and build this equation. What do we know here? Yeah, she's getting, whoa, that was not that highlighter. Oop, not crossing it out. We know she's getting the 3 pairs of slacks. So, 3 slacks. And the slacks are the thing that we don't actually know what they cost. That's the question we're being asked. So that does let us know what our variable is. And I already heard someone say we should use x for that one. So x is the cost of the slacks. That's what we're asked to find. So that's usually where our variable is. So we could write that as 3x. That's absolutely valid. Totally valid. What else do we know? The blouse is $4 cheaper. So we know that she's got a coupon for $4 off the blouse. So how could I write that the blouse is $4 cheaper than the slacks? Because we don't know the cost of the slacks. That's what we said over here was going to be x. So that blouse, we know it's going to be the same cost as the pants, but $4 cheaper. So that blouse is going to be x minus 4, whatever that cost is. That's a blouse. The blouse is $4 cheaper than 1 pair of pants. So we know it's the cost of the pants if I take away $4. So the pants are x. What else do we know? Yes, slacks. Yes, slacks and pants are the same thing. Blouse is shirt. She has $75. So we know that our total is $75. Does she want to spend all $75? No. How much is she actually really wanting to spend? $72. Because she wants to have at least $3 left. She needs to pay for her parking. That's kind of how I think about that one. So it's not that we have a total of 75. Our total is 75 minus the 3. That's what tells us she's going to have $3 left. So we know when we build these equations, usually we take what we're buying and set it equal to the total. So we usually take our pants or our slacks and our blouse, we'll add those together, and we could set it equal. But she doesn't have the exact price, so it's not that she's wanting it to be purely equal. She just needs it to be smaller than. She just can't go over her budget. So which way will the alligator face? To the eating the clothes or eating the total? Which one needs to be smaller? Those. The clothes need to be smaller. Because we can't go over budget. So we're going to set this up kind of like this. We're going to take the cost of our 3 sets of slacks, so 3x. We're going to add that to the cost of the blouse, x minus 4. And we want that to be less than or equal to our 75 minus 3. So finding the pieces in these equations or in these stories is kind of obnoxious. But that's one of those things we got to practice. So now that we have an equation, see if you can figure out how to solve this. So see if we can figure out how to solve this. string this really tight. Yeah, right to press. All right, what would we do on this to try and solve it? Yeah, these parentheses aren't actually doing anything. We don't necessarily need to have them there. They're fine, but I don't have anything to distribute. I don't have anything coming into it. They're not really actually doing anything. So this is the exact same thing as if I had 3x plus x minus 4. And then we can simplify this. Our 75 minus 3, we said was going to be $72 that she had to spend. And then, yeah, Kaylee, you're right. We can absolutely combine some like terms together. I've got a 3x and an x. So how many x's do we have right here? Careful. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so we don't need to subtract it. It's just that on this side, I've got 3 apples and another apple. I've got 4 apples. I've got 4 x's. My pen does not want to write. Oh, love it. My iPad froze. There we go. So we have 4 x's minus 4 less than or equal to 72. So if they're on the same side of the equal sign, I just add them together. The only time I'm subtracting from both sides is if I'm crossing my inequality or crossing my equal sign. So then we can add 4 to both sides. This is when I start adding to both sides of the sign. It needs to cross my equals or cross my inequality. So these ones were on the same side, so it was just combining. Here's where I'm crossing. So then we're going to have our 4x less than or equal to 72 plus 4 gives us 76. Then what do we do? Yeah. Here we're going to divide both sides by 4. When I divide by 4, do I need to change my inequality sign, or is it going to stay the same? Stay the same. What is 76 divided by 4? 19. So what does this mean? What does x less than or equal to 19 mean in this story? What did x stand for? Yeah, it was the cost of the slacks. So the slacks and pants need to cost less than $19 for this to work. For her to be able to get all 3 pants and the blouse that she wants. So if pants are less than $19, she could get whatever pants she wants. So sometimes it's about writing our own equation where we know we can take our slacks and our blouse to make the total. We can then find our pieces in here of what we know. I know we were having 3 sets of slacks. I know our blouse was $4 less. Questions on this one? No, it's just that there's the one piece of hair that's tighter than the rest of it. And every time I look down, it's a different piece. It's so heavy. All right. We've got 2 more on this page. Honestly, this page is the last thing we're going to do in here for this chapter. In the book, at least. So we're going to look at these inequalities. I want you to give this a shot. See what we can come up with. Try this. Number 2 up here. See what you can come up with. You guys can work together on this. That's fine. I'm cool with you guys working together. See what I think on All right, what will we do first with this one? Yeah, we would distribute this one. I need to distribute this minus 4 to the 2x, and I need to distribute the minus 4 to the minus 6. That's where we stop. This other side of the parentheses, that's our stop sign. Don't go past it. So when we do that distribution, we've got our minus 3x plus 7. And we're going to do this multiplication. We're going to have our negative 4 times 2x to get a minus 8x. And our minus 4 times minus 6 to get positive 24. And then our minus 12 still chilling. Greater than or equal to 7. Are these parentheses doing anything for us? No. So then I don't actually need to have them. They're not doing anything. There's nothing to distribute over them. There's no powers or anything weird going on outside. So once they don't have anything going on with them, we can get rid of them. What could we do from here?
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms. What like terms we got?
Negative 3x and negative 8x.
Negative 3x and negative 8x. That's going to give us a minus 11x. Did we have any other like terms that we wanted to combine together? 7, 24, and negative 12. So we got our positive 7 plus 24 minus 12. What do we get from that combining together? What is 7 plus 24 minus 12? 19. So we have a positive 19 greater than or equal to 7. Yeah. I want to get all my numbers to one side so I can have my x all by itself. So we're going to go ahead and minus 19 from both sides. Again, now I'm crossing that inequality. I'm crossing sides. So this is when we use our opposite operation. Here we were just mushing them together. I owed you $8. I owed you $3. I total owe you $11. The 7, 24, and 12, those ones just combine together too. Now I'm crossing that equal sign. Now I need to subtract both sides. So we're going to have our minus 11x greater than or equal to, what is 7 minus 19? Negative 12. So I've got negative 11x is greater than or equal to negative 12. What do I do? Divide by negative 11. What do we get? X is less than or equal to, because we divided by a negative number, we need to change that sign. And this doesn't really simplify other than the negative signs canceling out. And in fact, you can check that in the calculator. Second column, third button down, is our fraction that looks like a fraction, and we can put in our negative 12 over negative 11. And it'll simplify it for us. There's no negatives left. The yellow calculators will simplify the fractions, whether it's something we can simplify or not, or whether it's something we want to simplify or not. If we need a decimal answer and the calculator stuck in fractions, these two arrows up here. I don't really want it as a decimal though, because it is a repeating decimal that goes on and on and on forever. 1.09090909090909090. Gross. So I would just leave this as 12 11ths. And that is 100% a beautiful answer. Okay. Questions on this one? We've got one more like it, and that's the last one in the book for this chapter. So look at number 3. See what we can come up with on this one. Give it a shot. You can use the previous one kind of as a guide for how to go through it. So what are we going to do first on this one? Distribute what? I heard one of them. It was very quiet, but I heard it. We got to distribute this minus 3. I need to take the minus 3 to the 5x and the minus 3 to the minus 3. We stop at the closed parentheses. Do not take the minus 3, because the most common mistake I see is we take this minus 3 and it goes to everybody. No. The closed parentheses is our stop sign. That's where we stop putting stuff. So our minus 3 times 5x, we get a minus 15x. And minus 3 times minus 3, we get a positive 9. We also need to distribute this guy. We need to take the 4 to the x and the 4 to the 3. Again, stop at our closed parentheses. Do not multiply the 4 times the 12. We get excited by distributing, but we got to stop somewhere. So we should get our 4x plus 12, and then we have our minus 12 sitting out here. We can drop all of our parentheses once we've distributed it through. What can we do now? More specific. What terms? Yeah. The 12 and the negative 12. What happens when I combine together 12 and minus 12? They zero. What are y'all measuring? So we've got our minus 15x plus 9 is less than 4x plus 0. You don't have to put the 0 in. It's totally cool. Then what? Yeah, we can add 15x to both sides. Here we're crossing that equal sign, crossing that inequality. I can add 15x to both sides. Totally fine. We're going to wind up with our 9 is less than, oh, this was 15x, excuse me, 19x. And what do we do to get the x by itself? Divide by 19, and we get an unpleasant fraction. And that's okay. Do I need to change my inequality sign? No. We only flip it when we multiply or divide by a negative number. Not adding, not subtracting. Only when we multiply and divide by a negative number. So we get our 9 over 19, is less than x. And that'll be another time we'd want to see if that could simplify in the calculator. We can look in the calculator. we take our second column, third button down, fraction, we can put in 9 over 19. And it says, yeah, no, there's nothing I can do to make that better. If it spits back out exactly what you put in, it doesn't simplify. If it will simplify, the calculator is going to do it. For example, if we have like 5 over 25, it'll simplify it down. Even if we have things that are not super great, 42 over, I don't know, 9. It'll simplify that down. So it can simplify them down. It can also switch them back into decimal form if we want them. So if we're stuck with a decimal that we'd really like to have as a fraction, we can hit the 2 arrows above the enter key down here. Or if we have a fraction that we'd like as a decimal, we can hit that same button and it'll switch them back and forth. So if we have our 9 over 19 and we wanted it as a decimal, we could, and see that that's 0.47368. You gross. Never mind, I'd rather have that as a fraction. Switch it back, switch it back. Gross. Okay, so the yellow calculators are super awesome with that. As we get more and more into things that we will need the calculators more and more for, I will walk you through here to find all the cool stuff in these calculators, because there's some cool stuff in here. And some handy tools. What we have now is we are having a little bit of time, because I should not have the number of missing homeworks in here that I do for prime. We have had 4 homework assignments. Technically, homework 4 is due tomorrow, so you guys have some time to work on it. There are 4 homeworks in this chapter. I have, I think, 2 people in both of my prime classes that have done all the homework I need to do.
It says it due today.
Well, I can fix it, but honestly, you can do the whole thing. Tomorrow we're going to work with the rubric a little bit more, because again, we're going to have some of the questions on the test graded on that rubric. So we're going to practice using it again. We had a lot of people start coloring in stuff on that rubric, and that's just a tool for me. So we're going to practice with the rubric again, and then we will I'll have the review for you available tomorrow, but we're going to work on the rubric. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we'll work on the review. Friday's the test. If we get done with the review early, I can put together a game and get out the prize bucket for a review game. So, you can always do that. But yeah, I think of all of the homeworks for chapter 2, I have 2 people. 3 people. There we go. I have 3 people, I think, in this class who have done all of them. So I have a lot of people with at least something missing. Yeah. I have 3 people in this class who've done it all. So please be checking stuff. Make sure you're looking at Canvas. Our chapter test is on Friday. And you guys have a solid 10 minutes. Remember that the Canvas assignments do not work super great on an iPad. They do work really well on your Chromebook, but they do not work great on the iPads. They struggle to see the equation things.